Hey nerd family, and welcome back to another video. Today we're just going to talk a little bit about Nvidia GeForce Now, Nvidia's cloud gaming service or platform. But before we get into it, I'm going to go ahead and roll that intro, and I'll see you back here in a second. Alright guys, welcome back. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and staying healthy. If you haven't already checked out thenerdcircle.com, make sure to head over there and check it out. Also, don't forget to follow along on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle. Sometimes we will be posting things over there if we feel it's not quite ready for a video yet. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that way you don't miss any of the new content. Alright guys, so today we're just going to take a quick look at Nvidia's game streaming platform here. So for those of you that don't know, it has been out for 6 years now. It launched October 1st of 2015, but it was a little bit different then than what it is today. We're going to go ahead and break some of this down, so for those of you that don't know, and if you want to go ahead and try it out and see if it's a valid option for your game streaming. Now, with GPUs or video cards being hard to come by or being really expensive at the moment, it's not always the easiest to build a gaming machine right now, so cloud gaming is on the rise. So there are a few different cloud gaming options out there. Some of them act a little bit differently. With the Nvidia version here, it's going to stream your games. So with that, you do have to own some of these games and have to have one of the stores that it works with to be able to play your games, but it does allow you to be able to play these games if you don't have that gaming computer built for yourself. So if you have a vast library or plan to have a vast library of games, but just don't have the PC to be able to play those games, then this might be an option for you. It also allows you the ability to play the games across multiple different platforms, as we will get into here in a little bit. When this service first launched, it was actually in 2013, but it was something different back then. Back then, they allowed you to play games that they had in their library, so you would sign up for somewhere around, I think it was $6 or $7 a month, and you would go ahead and play whatever games they had in their library. And I did sign up back then, I think it was around 2013, 2014, and it was in a beta stage at the time. They did go ahead and launch it as a full platform. But they have pivoted since then, as we will get into here shortly. But back then, they allowed you to play whatever games they had in their library, and they actually had a decent library of games. I was able to play a bunch of games, and then kind of just fell off of this. I was moving and unsubscribed for a little while and just never went back to it. But it was pretty cool. I was able to stream it to the Nvidia Shield that I had at the time, and that's where I played most of my games, and I had the controller that came with the Shield. I didn't seem to have any issues with it. I liked it. I wouldn't say it was, top of the line game streaming, but there wasn't as much of the cloud streaming services that we have now, so I think it was awesome for the time. Now, fast forward a little bit here to October 1st of 2015 is when they pivoted, and now they don't have a library of games for you to play. You just play your own games. So it's similar to a service that's out there called Shadow that basically does the same thing. You pay a subscription service that gives you a virtual PC that you can install your games to, and it allows you to have that, really good gaming machine, but can play on other devices that don't have those capabilities. So it's similar to that, but I think that it's a more dumbed down version. So Shadow, I believe, starts around $29.99 a month, but you have a lot of other capabilities. There's a lot more things you can do. The computers are a bit more high-end than what Nvidia is offering here, but Nvidia comes in at a lot cheaper price point. So let's go ahead and break it down and take a look. Now, the dates aren't really important, but I had mentioned October 1st, 2015 is when they pivoted over to what they currently have now, and that was their beta testing stage for this. And they did go and launch it in full for the public release February 4th of 2020. So it's still somewhat new here, but they've had a little bit of time to kind of perfect it. And I think their biggest competitor right now is going to be Stadia. Now, if you ask me, I do think that they maybe have a little bit better option than Stadia in the terms of I'm more comfortable knowing that I have my games that I've purchased through Steam, and Steam is a reliable, at least to me, a reliable option that I know if I purchase something in Steam, I hope that they're not going to close their doors tomorrow, and I have all my games readily available there. Whereas with Stadia, it's still a new service. Obviously, Google's a big company, but they do have a track record of starting a project and not following through with it, not seeing the money, and just kind of killing it. So I am still a bit nervous, although I am putting some money into Stadia. I'm still a bit nervous to start buying a whole bunch of games, not knowing if Stadia is going to survive. Whereas if I don't have this gaming computer or something happens to it and I still want to play my games, I have the option of paying the monthly fee over to Nvidia here and streaming my Steam library instead of having to start all over and buy all new games at Stadia. So they have their trade-offs, but I do think that for someone who already has a decent library in Steam or just wants to be able to know that they're buying a game from a store that hopefully is not going to shut its doors anytime soon, I think this might be a better option. But, of course, there are, like I said, pros and cons, so, of course, let me know down below what you think. Now, as of the time of filming this, Nvidia GeForce now works across a multitude of platforms. It works on both Windows and Mac, Android as well as iOS, Chromebooks, and if you do have an Nvidia Shield TV, then you also can use it there. Now, it does state that they will be introducing some availability for WebOS on LG TVs sometime in the near future here, but there's not too much information to go on, but it does work across a lot of different devices. Now, they do say that in their machines, they use Nvidia Tesla video cards, and they can support up to 1080p, 60 frames a second, and sometimes it can go to 120 frames a second. Now, they do recommend a 50 megabit internet connection, but if you can't get that fast of an internet connection, they do have some other options. So if you have a 25 megabit internet connection, you can then choose to stream at 720p at the same 60 frames a second. If you only have access to a 10 megabit internet connection, you can do 720p at 30 frames. And of course, that'll all be based on your bandwidth. They do say that there are plans to upgrade their hardware over time, so that way the quality of the streams can improve. Now, if you do want to try this out, but yet you don't have any games in Steam yet, there are some other platforms it does work with, but Steam is going to be the main one. And the good news is that any of those games that are free to play on Steam, which actually has quite a few, you should be able to find over here. So if you haven't gotten any games on Steam yet or just haven't built up that library just yet, then of course you can try out the free to play games and see how it plays across your other devices. Now, they do start with a free tier, which is currently the tier that I'm going to be testing out here in the coming videos here. It gives you what they call standard access, and you can play 1-hour sessions. So I will test that going further and kind of let you guys know how that works. I don't know if an hour session is going to be long enough, and I don't really know what the time frame is after you do that hour session, how long until you can play again. We will answer those questions in a coming video. But then you do have the option of paying $9.99 a month for what they call their priority tier. Now, you can save yourself a few bucks per month here if you want to sign up annually. Instead of doing that $9.99 a month, you can do $99.99 a year, which is going to break down to only $8.33 a month. So, not horrible. That's basically, like I said, what I think their price was when they actually hosted the games themselves. But, you know, $8 a month right now isn't a horrible price to pay if you can't get hands on a good GPU to put into your gaming rig. This might be a valid option for you. There's all sorts of deals going on Steam all the time to get yourself a good game and try to stream it this way. I think that might be a valid option for most people. Now, when you're on that priority tier, you do have priority access to their servers. It says extended session length. It doesn't really specify how long that is, so we will find that out in a future video, unless, of course, I can come across an answer here. And it does give you the ability to have RTX turned on. So this, I think, is definitely something for a lot of gamers to try, or if you're starting to get into gaming and haven't built that gaming PC just yet, definitely give this a shot because it comes in at a pretty cheap price point and works across a lot of different platforms, so it might be the option for you. I'd say definitely try out that free tier, and it can only get better from there, so definitely give that a shot. You may only be able to game in 1080p, but I do think 1080p, especially at 60 frames, is pretty decent. So if you have that vast library and want to be able to stream because you can't build that gaming rig at the moment, it's definitely an option to try. I know we did also mention Stadia in here, so Stadia is also a great option. If you want to check out Stadia, I will put a link down below where you can use my code to save yourself a little bit of money there. Try it out for a little bit longer, so make sure to use my code there. We are still trying out Stadia as well as other game streaming platforms, so make sure to subscribe for more. And I did also mention Shadow. So if you're really wanting to get better options as far as your gaming goes, but like the ability to be able to stream it here because you can't quite build that gaming rig at the moment, Shadow is going to be a little bit better option. We will make another video in the future going over Shadow here, but they are a little higher priced because they have a lot more features that are available to you. I believe you can game in 4K, things like that. So definitely another valid option, but they do start at $29.99 a month, and I believe they have some other plans as well. So keep an eye out for a future video where we go over Shadow. And if you guys would like to see some head-to-head videos going over these different game streaming platforms and kind of break them apart a little bit more in depth and see the pros and cons of each one of them to try to zone in as to what's going to be the best option for you, definitely let me know down below and we can make sure to put a video together. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comments down below. Alright guys, but this was just a quick video going over Nvidia GeForce Now, kind of saying, hey, they started 6 years ago. I think it was kind of the entryway into some of the game streaming that we have here today. For those of you who have used the Nvidia GeForce Now since 2015 when they pivoted, let me know your thoughts down below. So we want to congratulate Nvidia. I kind of wish they didn't fully pivot away from having the games hosted themselves. I wish that they would still implement some of those options in here. I think even if there was a separate tier, if you paid a few extra bucks, then they'd have some games for you, because I do think there is some great opportunity in being able to have a library that you can just tap into and play without having your own games. I do think there is some merit in that, so I wish that they had kept that, but maybe they'll add it back in the future. We'll kind of see here as the game streaming world unfolds. There's going to be a lot more game streaming things to come, and we're definitely keeping our eyes on them here, so definitely make sure to follow on social media. I will be giving it a try here in the coming weeks and months, so there will definitely be some update videos. We may post some things across social media before we make our next video, so make sure to go ahead and follow along. We're going to see if Nvidia GeForce Now continues, or if it goes the way of the West here, and if Stadia and some of these other ones beat it out. Make sure you guys keep an eye on the future videos, because we're definitely going to be posting more game streaming videos and a lot of other tech news here as well. But I do hope you guys learned something new from this video here today. If you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, please give it a big thumbs up. If there's anything I forgot to mention, I'll leave it in the description down below. If there's anything you noticed that I forgot to mention, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. Don't forget to share this video across any social media platform you like. And don't forget to subscribe. You can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure to ring that bell so you get notified of any new videos to come out. You can also follow the links on the screen to the older videos. And until next time, guys, stay nerdy.